Good evening. Tonight we're looking at a profound and often unspoken shift in the global landscape of influence. It's a story about faith, power, and perception. On one hand, you have Christianity, a religion with over 2 billion followers, a global behemoth by any measure. On the other, Judaism, with a population of just over 15 million worldwide, a fraction of the size. Yet when we look closely at the levers of modern power, in politics, finance, media, and intellectual thought, a fascinating question emerges. How is Judaism, despite its small size, becoming more influential compared to Christianity in certain key arenas? It's a complex and sensitive topic, one that requires a nuanced and fact-based approach. This isn't a simple numbers game. It's about the nature of influence itself in the 21st century. It's about strategic positioning, intellectual capital, and the power of a deeply interconnected global community. The dynamics are changing, and the old assumptions about religious influence no longer hold true in the same way they once did. The world is witnessing a recalibration, where the impact of a group is measured not just by its sheer size, but by its concentration of influence in pivotal sectors that shape our modern world, from the halls of government to the frontiers of technology. So, tonight, we'll go beyond the headlines and the demographics to get to the heart of this phenomenon. We'll explore the key factors driving this shift in global influence, examining the geopolitical, economic, and intellectual forces at play. We'll look at the rise of Israel as a global power, the significant presence of Jewish leaders in finance and media, the unparalleled contributions to academia and innovation, and how this contrasts with the challenges facing Christianity in the modern West. Our goal is to understand the mechanics of this new power dynamic, keeping the focus squarely on the facts. At the very center of this discussion is the modern state of Israel. Its creation in 1948 marked a turning point, not just for the Jewish people, but for global geopolitics. For the first time in 2 millennia, Judaism had a sovereign state, a seat at the United Nations, and a military to defend its interests. This single fact cannot be overstated. It transformed Judaism from a diasporic religion into a nation-state with tangible hard power. Israel's strategic location in the Middle East, a region of immense global importance, automatically places it at the center of international diplomacy, conflict, and energy politics, amplifying its voice on the world stage far beyond what its size would suggest. This geopolitical weight is magnified by Israel's formidable technological and military prowess. It's often called the startup nation for a reason. Its innovations in cybersecurity, agricultural technology, and medical devices are not just economically significant. They are tools of statecraft. Countries around the world seek out Israeli technology, creating diplomatic and economic partnerships that further embed Israel into the global system. This technological leadership, combined with a highly advanced military and intelligence apparatus, makes Israel an indispensable partner for many nations, most notably the United States. This alliance is one of the cornerstones of modern international relations, giving Israel, and by extension Jewish interests, a powerful advocate in the world's sole superpower. When you look at the mechanics of this relationship, you see a powerful feedback loop. The unwavering support from the United States provides Israel with a diplomatic shield and significant military aid, ensuring its security and regional dominance. In return, Israel acts as a key strategic ally for the United States in a volatile region, providing critical intelligence and a stable democratic foothold. This symbiotic relationship ensures that issues of importance to Israel and the global Jewish community are consistently on the agenda in Washington, D.C. and other Western capitals. This geopolitical engine, powered by statehood, technology, and a powerful alliance, is a primary driver of Judaism's expanding global influence. Beyond geopolitics, influence in the modern world is heavily concentrated in 2 key sectors: global finance and international media. And in these areas, the presence of Jewish individuals in leadership positions is statistically significant and has a profound impact. In the world of finance, from Wall Street investment banks to hedge funds and venture capital firms, Jewish leaders have long played a pivotal role. This isn't a matter of conspiracy. It's a historical reality rooted in centuries of cultural and economic adaptation, often in places where Jews were barred from owning land and entered fields like finance and trade. This legacy continues today, with a notable presence in firms that direct the flow of global capital. This concentration of influence in finance means that decisions made in these boardrooms have far-reaching consequences, shaping economic trends, funding technological innovation, and influencing corporate policy worldwide. When capital is allocated, it directs the course of development. The ability to help steer these massive financial currents provides a powerful, often subtle form of influence. It's about being in the room where major economic decisions are made, decisions that can impact everything from the stability of national economies to the funding of philanthropic causes and political campaigns, many of which align with Jewish community interests, both in the diaspora and in Israel. Similarly, in the media landscape, from major Hollywood studios to influential news organizations and publishing houses, Jewish founders, executives, and thinkers have been instrumental in shaping the content we consume. This allows for a significant role in framing public discourse, telling stories that resonate with Jewish history and values, and ensuring that certain perspectives are part of the global conversation. Think of the stories told about the Holocaust, the narratives surrounding the State of Israel, or the broader themes of social justice that are often championed. This isn't about controlling the message, but about having a powerful voice in the marketplace of ideas, ensuring that Jewish perspectives are not just heard, but are often central to the cultural and political dialogue of our time. There is another, perhaps more fundamental form of influence, and that is the power of ideas. In the realms of academia, science, and the arts, the Jewish contribution is, by any statistical measure, extraordinary. If you look at the list of Nobel Prize winners since its inception, people of Jewish heritage are represented at a rate more than 100 times their proportion of the world's population. This isn't an anomaly. It's the result of a deeply ingrained cultural value system that has for centuries prioritized education, critical inquiry, and intellectual pursuit above almost all else. The traditional emphasis on literacy and the study of complex religious texts like the Talmud has cultivated a powerful intellectual tradition. This tradition translates directly into leadership in academia and research institutions around the world. In elite universities, in scientific laboratories, and in think tanks that shape public policy, you find a disproportionate representation of Jewish scholars and thinkers. They are at the forefront of breakthroughs in medicine, physics, economics, and philosophy. This intellectual leadership means they are not just participating in the conversation, they are often setting the terms of the debate. They are writing the textbooks, pioneering the research, and developing the theories that will be taught to the next generation of leaders, profoundly shaping how we understand the world. This emphasis on education and innovation creates a virtuous cycle. It fuels technological advancement, like we see in Israel, and it populates the highest echelons of professions that require deep analytical and intellectual rigor, such as law, medicine, and finance. The cultural value placed on questioning, debating, and innovating is a powerful engine for progress and, consequently, for influence. In a world increasingly driven by knowledge and information, a community that excels in producing intellectual capital holds a distinct and enduring advantage. It's an influence that works not through command, but through the sheer force of ideas and discovery. The rising influence of one group doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's often relative to the changing fortunes of another. While Judaism's influence in key sectors is consolidating, Christianity, particularly in the West, is facing a period of significant decline. For centuries, the Christian Church was the bedrock of Western civilization, its moral and political authority virtually unchallenged. But today, the story is very different. Across Europe and North America, church attendance is plummeting, and a growing number of people, especially the young, identify as having no religious affiliation at all. This wave of secularism is eroding the foundational influence the church once held over society. This decline is accelerated by a series of crises that have damaged the church's moral authority. Widespread scandals, most notably the sexual abuse crises in the Catholic Church, have created a deep sense of betrayal and disillusionment among the faithful and the public at large. This has led to a massive loss of trust in religious institutions and their leadership. In addition to these scandals, Christianity in the West is fractured by deep internal divisions over social issues like LGBTQ+ rights, the role of women in the church, and the interpretation of Scripture. These conflicts create a state of internal paralysis, preventing the Christian world from speaking with a unified, authoritative voice on the great issues of the day. As a result, the institutional power of Christianity is waning. Where the church once had a powerful say in law, politics, and education, its voice is now often just one among many, and frequently a marginalized one. Political leaders in the West are less beholden to Christian voting blocs, which are themselves becoming more fragmented. This creates a power vacuum. As the traditional monolithic influence of Christianity recedes in the corridors of power, in academia, and in the cultural sphere, it leaves an opening for other, more cohesive and strategically focused groups to exert greater relative influence. The dynamic is not just about one group rising, but also about another group's traditional dominance fading. Perhaps the most crucial factor, and the one that ties all the others together, is the remarkable resilience and unity of the global Jewish community. Forged through centuries of persecution and diaspora, Jewish communities have developed sophisticated and highly effective networks for mutual support, advocacy, and survival. This isn't just about a shared faith, it's a shared sense of peoplehood and destiny that transcends national borders. This unity allows for a level of coordination and strategic action that is difficult for larger, more diffuse religious groups to replicate. It's a community that knows how to organize. This coordinated effort is most visible in the world of political advocacy and lobbying. Organizations like AIPAC in the United States and similar groups in other Western nations are renowned for their effectiveness. They operate with a clear, unified message, focusing on key issues, primarily the security of Israel and combating anti-Semitism. They are well-funded, highly organized, and politically savvy, ensuring that the community's voice is heard loud and clear in the halls of government. This ability to mobilize resources, both financial and human, towards a common political goal gives the Jewish community a level of influence that far outweighs its numbers. Beyond politics, this unity manifests in robust internal support systems. A dense network of community centers, schools, charities, and foundations works to preserve Jewish identity, support members in need, and fund initiatives that advance the community's interests. This creates a strong social fabric that reinforces a sense of collective responsibility and purpose. It is this combination of resilience honed by history, strategic unity in action, and a powerful sense of interconnectedness that allows a relatively small global population to act with the focus and impact of a much larger one. It is the invisible architecture that supports and amplifies all other forms of influence we've discussed. So, what can we take away from this complex picture? It's clear that in the 21st century, influence is no longer a simple function of population size. While Christianity remains the largest religion in the world by a vast margin, its institutional power in the West is facing undeniable challenges. At the same time, we're seeing how Judaism's influence is rising through a potent combination of strategic, intellectual, and institutional power. This is driven by the geopolitical reality of Israel, a significant presence in global finance and media, a profound legacy of academic achievement, and the strength of a unified, highly organized global community. This is not a zero-sum game, but a recalibration of global power dynamics. The story here is one of focus and leverage. It's about how a community, though small, can concentrate its resources and talents in the pivotal arenas that shape modern life. It demonstrates how intellectual capital, strategic alliances, and a cohesive internal network can create an impact that reverberates globally. The rising influence of Judaism is a testament to resilience, strategic thinking, and the enduring power of a community united by a shared history and a common purpose. Ultimately, this shift isn't about numbers, but about how a well-organized community can shape global affairs. It challenges our conventional thinking about what constitutes power and influence in an increasingly interconnected and complex world. It shows that the ability to shape the narrative, to drive innovation, and to speak with a unified voice on the world stage can be more decisive than sheer demographic weight. It's a profound lesson in the mechanics of modern influence and a story that will continue to unfold in the years to come. Thank you for joining us.